Wow, okay, so apparently they're doing dynamic price changes where the price of these meals are going to fluctuate throughout the day. So apparently it'll be more expensive during lunch rushes. Come here. Couple of questions, right? One, why? Two, does that mean that the workers get fluctuated pay? Do they get paid more when lunch rushes happen? Because that should probably happen.
Someone needs to remind Zara that they're Zara. What do you mean this is $170?
$15.98 for this 40-gallon, right? Behind it, it's cheaper. They are scamming us.
Dynamic pricing is up. Online retailers charging more based on your income, spending patterns, even your gender.
I've never been in a store and actually watched the price of something go up right in front of me as I walked up to buy it.
It's scamming season, and it's not who you think that's doing the scamming. Hey visionaries, it's A back on your screen with another one. If you're listening to this where podcasts are played, hey, you're listening to the Authentic with Alicia pod, where we keep it real and rooted in purpose. So it's been on my mind for some time, and then last week it reignited in me that I wanted to speak on this subject. So I hope that you're interested in this today and you have something to say, so leave it down below. As I was shopping Black Friday and I just needed essentials, listen, as a reformed shopaholic, I did pretty good. I got winter boots, which were right on time because it snowed that day and it snowed again an hour ago, so I'm gonna wear them when I'm on the go after this video. And I also got undergarments, which pretty basic, pretty boring, but they're a necessity too. But in the years gone by, I used to go bananas for Black Friday, which is pretty bad when you think about it. As a Canadian, we never had the Black Friday that the Americans did. If you're from Europe, Asia, Australia, Africa, South America, the Pacific Islands, let me know if Black Friday has ever been a big thing for you. It's never really been a big thing here in the Six. We've never had these deep discounts of like 50 to 80% off that I've seen on commercials in the States. We've gotten like a 20% and it's like, woo. Capitalism's gonna do what it does best, and it has all of us in a tizzy here in Toronto for 20% off. As if we don't get 20% off Black Friday, Singles Day, when people have their store anniversary sales. It's pretty standard at this point. So I wanted to share some tips of how I've been able to save while spending, and even when I splurge, what I do so that I'm always financially stable. Nothing like financial freedom. When I was 17, I was paycheck to paycheck. Couldn't keep it in my account more than one day. I worked in the mall, what can I say? But I learned real quick there's nothing more liberating than having peace and being able to sleep soundly knowing you don't owe anybody anything. When I was 18, I decided to save 10% of every single paycheck, no matter how minuscule the paycheck was or how, ooh, I worked that much, okay. 10% was put away. That came in clutch because there was times, the pandemic, where I lived off of my paychecks that I made previously because none were coming in. As such, I think I have something to say about being able to be financially stable and financially free, and the liberation that it gives you to live a life just generally when you don't have money on your mind all the time. I thought this would be the perfect time to talk about the scams and the swindlers that are the corporations and companies playing in all of our faces. I think it was a year or two ago that I started to see that they would put stickers over price tags, and once you peeled them off, you realize that red font was the same as the black font, but they're trying to make it seem like something special for Boxing Day or Black Friday. That's trifling.
Black Friday sale, $90 off. I think I see something on the bottom. Hopefully it comes out right.
Nah, ain't this
For Black.
That's not bad at all. That's actually, pretty good deal. So I thought, well, how much could this size of ribbon be? I was guessing like $5 or $6 because I was like, that's a dollar store kind of ribbon.
Anything that's on sale on Black Friday today has had the tag removed.
Imagine people waiting for a specific time to buy something that they've had on their mind, or maybe they might even need. And then these people have the audacity to play in our faces and put the same price over in a different color font. Listen, in my years of retail, they never ran that kind of foolery because I would not partake in that. If you're interested, I can do a retail story time of the times I said no to things because I said, you have the wrong employee. My morals don't go the way yours do. But for the sake of keeping this one succinct today, the first tip I will say is if you want something or need something, screenshot it. I like to do this on my desktop as someone who has sight loss. It's easier, it's bigger on the screen, but if you prefer, keep it on your phone so you have it with you at all times. That way, when they say there's a sale, you can actually go back and see if it is an actual sale. I have even caught companies putting the X proudly to state that it's a sale. The original price that I screenshotted was the exact same. Now I want to share something with you that I could not believe. I would not believe if someone didn't post it on TikTok. So cue the clips.
You probably got scammed this Black Friday after people posted videos of them finding out items that were really on a limited time deal were just listed for that regular price any day of the week.
$12.99. It cost more today than it usually does.
Walking in a winter wonderland.
This is the original price? This is the Black Friday price.
People are already destroying.
That is a different type of wickedness, to have a sale. And not only is it not a sale, but it's actually more expensive than the original price. Where they do that at? And that's happened multiple times. If that's not an economic indicator, I don't know what is. I've always understood that companies do mark things up, whether it be alcohol at restaurants or sneakers in the shoe store, some markup because you're trying to make a profit, right? Some of the papers that I could see when I could still see when I worked in certain industries, the original price for some of these things, 10-fold, sometimes 20-fold over the price they're charging you. But that's just how it goes in a capitalistic cycle. So you know the game, you play by the game. But it's insane to me to know that they would go to the lens of trying to play a psychological trick on us. Because you know the feeling when you think you got something on sale. I know I feel accomplished, especially when I wait, when I have something in my cart from time. There's certain stores, names I will not say, that always have promotions. It'll always say buy one, get one free, or 50% off the second one, or today only. But you go back and somehow they always have that promotion. That is how they encourage you to purchase something that maybe you wouldn't if you knew that was the all year round price. Or my personal favorite is when they mark something up so high that you feel like you have to buy multiples of it to make it make sense. I'm looking at you, Bath and Body Works, because ain't no way one lotion is $18 but you can get 200 for 12. Like, make it make okay, maybe that's an exaggeration. You know what I'm talking about, those promos. And that lotion, I don't know, I'm an Ashy Larry. It's never been enough for me. There is so much psychology that goes into play in shopping that I learned in my years of retail. Like, they put the more illustrious items to the right because most people are right-handed, so for whatever reason we curve to the right when we walk into a store. Observe it the next time you walk. But when it comes to squeezing every cent out of us, it's unsettling and sickening knowing the current state of society. People are going through things economically, personally, and as a result mentally. And for companies and corporations to care less, which doesn't surprise me at this point, is just par for the course to not participate in the cycle anymore. In addition to taking screenshots so that I don't get swindled by these companies, just wait until they have digital tags on everything. They're gonna be switching with the swiftness, especially with dynamic pricing. Ooh.
So the whole goal of these is to adjust the prices on the items as they become more in demand. So for example, right now these are 90 cents. Let's say around 6 o'clock or during the busier time, these will go up to $1. They'll fluctuate based off of the...
That's one thing I'm not looking forward to in the future. Something else I do to keep money in my account is ask myself, what is the purpose of this? By purpose, I mean, what do I hope this is gonna provide in my life? Let's be honest, whenever we buy something, it's for a reason, whether we think it's gonna add value, make our lives easier, give us an experience. We buy something to express something, to feel something.
But nobody talks about that there's this real ladder of shopaholism. And here's what it looks like from the bottom up. You go from impulse shopper to identity buyer to functional shopper to strategic buyer. And marketing loves people who are stuck on the bottom too. So the first stage is the impulse shopper. And this is the most reactive, least conscious stage. So identity buyers buy personas and aesthetics and versions of themselves. Persona and proposition marketing tends to work really well on the identity buyer. But here's the good news. Identity buyers eventually realize, I do not need another version of myself. I need to know what actually works for my life. Functional shoppers can waste a lot of time. They will do lots of research, a lot of comparison. They will optimize endlessly. Their shopping problem is usually disguised as I'm being responsible or I'm being prepared. And after they have lost enough hours or months or years to research spirals, they start craving clarity and simplicity. They buy based on their own values, not vibes. They choose with intention, not influence. Their cart and identity and homes are usually calm and reflect the life that they have now. That's not like an escape from fear or some yearning for a fantasy life or quest for control. And marketing has lost its grip on this shopper because this shopper trusts herself.
So when we sit down with that feeling, we can ask ourselves, would we feel this way without that item? Sometimes the trade-off for me is to buy something that's more expensive and higher quality, which is not always one and the same, but that might actually save me buying multiples over the years. Some of the items I've had in my closet, I've had for 12 years. I think this says a lot about the quality of the item as much as my body frame not changing that much. I can only imagine how much more I would spend if I had to buy several sets of something instead of just investing in one good thing. Sometimes the upfront cost saves you in the back end. My own rule of thumb, and I know not everyone's gonna agree with me, is when it comes to technology, I get the newest thing out. I don't buy the second generation. I don't get the $100 discount for whatever came out last year. Whatever the newest thing is, camera, microphone, computer, phone, anything, the newest, shiniest, brightest, unless people have spoken about the defect. The 17 Pro's got a lot of problems. A video on that's coming up. I had no choice. My iPhone 12 was locking me out. Face ID wasn't working. It was a whole mess. I waited a little long to switch that one. When you buy the newest, you get a little more runway with planned obsolescence. We all know that eventually certain companies, I'm again not gonna say no name, sorry, camera died. So by now, it's common knowledge that certain companies live and die by disrespecting us by deactivating and discontinuing certain products, whether it be the software that runs on our hardware so we can no longer use it, or it's so slow and intolerable that we have to top up or upgrade. The laws that they've made, I swear, don't do enough. This one might be controversial. I personally believe the only way to combat that is to get the newest thing when you are upgrading. So when you ask yourself, what's the purpose of what you're purchasing? You're asking yourself what you think you're really gonna get from this item or experience. Is this to help with some suppressed feeling of shame from your childhood from not having enough clothes? That was me back in the day. Is it so that you can impress somebody? Is the functionality gonna really fit into your lifestyle? Is it gonna add value in a way that saves you time, or is able to help unlock or recoup another resource that you may not have, whether it be money or time? Is it to impress somebody? Is it for the optics? Is it because you want to feel comfortable? Is it because you want to feel challenged? It could be a myriad of things, and I'm not here to judge. The fourth tactic I like to use is asking, is this the actual price? Going back to what I said about seeing some of the unit prices of items, that is how much it costs to manufacture and sell it, people would be sick and stop shopping, and that should have been my sign to stop shopping in my early 20s, but it wasn't.
This woman just said, corporations act like they are mad that they have to go through you to get your money. And that's what's reflected in the quality of every single thing getting worse. And there is an underlying vein of malice in how poorly things are made, with materials that they know harm us, with materials that are wildly exploitative to the planet and horrible for the people. We used to be customers, and now we are consumers. And that word really does change everything.
Know how much of a markup and how much money they make off of us is insane. When you understand how the operations work, how much they have to pay the employees, the light, the rent, the delivery people, the duties if it's being transferred between companies, the models, the internet hosting fee. There's so much behind the scenes that goes into having a retail company. But dang, sometimes they're really taking liberty. Is this the actual cost? Even if it is on sale, and even if the sale is actually real, I still can't believe they're playing in our faces. Diabolical. This better helps you decide, determine, and discern if this is something that you want to have in your house. You can try to shop and get it somewhere for a better price, or wait for an actual sale. Because I know how hard it is to break from the shackles of being a shopaholic, I have a 10-year rule. That is, whenever it comes to clothes, accessories, anything that I adorn myself with, I have a 10-year rule. Is this something that I'm going to still like and wear proudly in 10 years? I don't really buy trendy things, and if I do, I buy a trend that I don't care if it's not going to be on trend in 10 years. Is the quality going to uphold? Now, if it's something that's delicate, like silk, of course I will hand wash it to preserve it. But if it's something that's supposed to be rough and tumble and you can't tumble dry it on low, that is a no-go. Is it something that's going to tarnish after a couple wears? Keep my money in the account. It may decrease due to inflation, but it's not going to tarnish. I very rarely buy costume jewelry. If the apocalypse happens and I need to go somewhere, I can't offer these to cross the border. So there's got to be something that's going to either hold its value or appreciate over time. Or the use of using it daily over 10 years is a multiplier of how much it is. For example, I got a iMac in 2015. that I still use today to edit and everything I do digitally. Now, is it working well? No, because you know, Apple's gonna do with this planned obsolescence. But 10 years ago, it was a little over 3K, and if you do the math, that's like $30 a month for a computer. I think that's well worth it. I mean, I wish it would still work and perform as well as it did, say 5-6 years ago. The upfront cost of paying, what, almost 4K for a computer back then, I don't regret it because it served me well over the last decade. Now I'm overdue, but that's another story for another day. No tea, no shade. I've never been into Shein because the sentiment of buying something that's kind of a gamble every time you rip the plastic, that's how I fell out of Pretty Little Thing pretty quick. Not fast enough because I gave them a pretty coin over time. I don't like the idea of buying fast fashion no matter how in tune with the trends it is, knowing that eventually the threads are not going to last the test of time. I just don't like the idea of converting my cash into something that isn't going to last. I'm not a big fan of single-use items. If I can, I try to buy something I can use repeatedly, not only for cost to me, but the environment as well. When in doubt, the sleep on it method always works. If you can put something in your cart and then forget about it and then go back to your cart and be like, oh, I actually really like that, then you can check it out. I'll speak for me. There's some times that I just really wanted the serotonin or dopamine hit at that moment. So I've said a lot. I'm gonna turn it to you. Let me know if you have anything to add to the list, anything to say, whether you agree or disagree, I wanna know. And as always, thanks for making it to the end of the video. Stay safe out there, keep your head on swivel, because scamming season is not just during this holiday season, it's year round. So as it goes with authenticity, there's always an opportunity to allow the external world to inform your internal one. So as always, thanks again for watching, and until next week, stay blessed, stay authentic. Constant construction in this apartment. Oh my gosh.